Hello, good evening. Good evening. I'm gonna get my mic right. Give me a second. Okay, it's so good to be here with you. Wow, I get to look out onto all of your faces and to this beautiful sunset behind me. This is the field where my son, coached by the mayor, how honored are we, was for several years was able to have the Mayor Walker as a coach. Thank you so much for everything you've always done for us and for the city. I am really excited to be here with you tonight as we honor Dr. King's legacy. Just to tell you a little bit more kind of personal about myself, I'm a biracial daughter born to a Black father and a white mother before their marriage was legal in the United States. I am also a mother raising a Black son when the violence rates against young Black men almost mirror those at the time that Emmett Till was murdered in 1955. I began my career as an activist before becoming the director of the Human Rights Office for the city of Fort Collins, Colorado, just following the brutal murder of Matthew Shepard in a nearby town for the simple act of being gay. At that time, I began working to change public policy, making hateful acts against members of the LGBT communities punishable as hate crimes. I'm also, and finally, an entrepreneur who spent over 30 years pursuing Dr. King's dream of creating space for recognition and empowerment of people from all backgrounds to be judged by the contents of our character and not just by the color of our skin. The world we live in today is unfortunately governed by news cycles rather than critical masses of honorable and energized citizens pursuing a powerful shared vision. In the absence of a dream, vivid, audacious, and compelling, like the one that Dr. King set forth for us, pettiness prevails. There are mounds of research that make this point. In the absence of a shared vision, fear becomes the driving force. And fear limits all of us in the most harmful of ways. It narrows our scope of vision. It diminishes our ability to explore alternative points of view, to entertain perspectives that are contrary to our previously held beliefs. It makes us hunker down in self-protection mode to avoid perceived harm, embarrassment, threat, or vulnerability of any sort. But vulnerability is the most essential ingredient for growth. Think about young children. Think about these amazing, adorable young children right here. Their hearts and their minds are open. They're curious, they're unafraid, they're experimental. They lack inhibitions and shyness about how they'll be judged by others. Their beautiful orientation to the world is exactly what is needed to learn, to have the foundation of experiences so important for further development and for meaning making. Now consider that for so many of us, this beautiful openness, this openness to the world is a distant thing of our past. It's relegated to our childhoods, but not something that many of us have dared to experience since. What are the consequences to us, to the world? Can any of us, in a world that is so rapidly changing and in a global environment that continues to bring us closer together, afford to stop learning? To feel confident that the knowledge, the understanding, the beliefs that were built into us in our early childhood, whenever that was, is still relevant and will always be so? Dr. King and scholars across all time know that vision is more powerful than fear, that love is more powerful than hate, but with one qualification: only at scale. Hate at scale will always overcome a few scattered sentiments of goodwill. Fragmented vision will always succumb to the louder exaltations of fear that divide us. So it's only when we, all of us, and with kind of shared and energetic pursuit, commit to engaging in the absolutely human, albeit childlike, ability to learn without inhibition, listen across politics or prejudices, care about people and outcomes rather than positions, breathe life into Dr. King's dream. In today's world, we can be anything we want. I want you to think how powerful that is, and also how humbling. As you consider your next social media post, your next engagement with neighbors near and far, please remember Dr. King's words. Keep feeling the need for being important. Keep feeling the need for being first. But I want you to be the first in love. I want you to be the first in moral excellence. I want you to be the first in generosity. I invite you today to leave this gathering and reflect on how and in what ways you are energetically pursuing a future that reflects our shared desire for a better world, healthier communities, and more caring relationships. What can you do more of or differently? And how can you bring your commitment forward in a way that encourages it being shared with your family, in your neighborhoods, and in your places of work? We, all of us, I dare say, are responsible for being the change we want to see in the world. Thank you.